Hello, my name is Dr. Jason Longton, and I am Associate Professor of Music at the College of Central Florida. Welcome to our video production of In Willowbark Woods. This production was created out of necessity because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the students have worked so hard on it, and we are so pleased to bring it to you tonight as a world premiere theatrical experience. If you haven't done so already, please check the description box below for a link to a PDF of our program. And if you are inclined, as this production is presented to you for free, if you're inclined to make a donation to our musical theater department, you can also check to the description for a link to the CF Foundation webpage where you can make that donation. Also, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the CF YouTube channel. The Visual and Performing Arts Department have a lot more productions to bring to you this semester, and if you enable notifications, you'll be the first to know about them. I hope you enjoy the show. And now let me introduce you the lyricist, composer, and book writer of In Willowbark Woods, Joshua L. Mazer.
Hello there. My name is Joshua Mazer, and I am the writer and composer of In Willowbark Woods, an original theatrical cycle of songs and monologues exploring the lives and times of people living in the rural South. As a person with continental family history spanning over 300 years, deeply rooted in the rural, sometimes impoverished, south of this great country, I know personally how life under these conditions is. I remember growing up with a nagging feeling that I wanted to live and be somewhere, anywhere, other than where I was. But I've also experienced, once I left for a time, the call of home, and the deep peace I can only seem to find under pine trees and on dirt roads and two-lane highways. Such a description is befitting of a little unincorporated community like Willowbark Woods. Willowbark could be any number of places in the rural South, nestled somewhere between larger towns, half an hour off any highway exit, occupied by folks working, growing up, making a living, watching the sun come up, and years go by, just like we all do. In and among every creek and forest path is woven a history and truth they all walk, even when they don't realize it. May you find it on your path, even as you walk the ones in Willowbark with them. Thank you, and enjoy.
My mama, she used to take us with her when she went into town a few times a week. Grocery, bank, and whatever. Well, we never got out of the car when she went in places, but we saw the entire town from the backseat of that old wagon. The day would go by as kind of a blur, but I always knew we were heading home when we passed this one corner store. And, basically, the last thing before hitting the woods. And every so often, she'd stop, let us get out and go in with her. Then I stopped feeling that knowing that there's really nowhere else to stop before you head home. That is the unincorporated community of Willowbark for you. Nothing but trailers in there, the occasional ranch house, and trees. Trees for miles and miles while you could lose track of the daylight there. It's so thick sometimes. And then the store burnt down this one year, and it took about a month before the ground was covered and the woods were moving back in. Every time we passed by, she'd say, "Remember that old store?" And we try and imagine how it stood next to the road as it got hot and hotter to see the ashes. Well, the woods moved back in quick. Eventually, we passed right by and not even noticed. That feeling of having passed you, that little lake, you realize you missed it and you turn to look back. That's Willowbark. It's just how it is around there. We used to have a Greyhound stop, and now all that's passing through is us, and well, we don't have eyes for nothing but Mama's porch and the gates of heaven. Until then. Who knows?
The sun may rise and she may Mima knew I was drinking unsweet iced tea right now, she would come out of the clear blue sky and whip my ass right back to the counter to fix this problem. The other day I had one with lemonade in it. That wasn't bad. Most of the time you just get them out of the bottle or something, but I don't think I've had sweet tea really since. Matter of fact, that last reunion at Mima's, she had a special way. She wouldn't tell anyone how she'd done it. It'd just be in the pitcher in the fridge like voodoo when we went and looked. But she told me how to do it. Listen, you take lemon juice and sugar syrup. Mix it up real good. That and a shot of bourbon, you got yourself a mean whiskey sour. Knock that back real quick. Now you're ready. Okay, you take 10 Lipton tea bags and put them in some cool tap water. And put it out on the porch all day the day before you got company. Then, take and add you about 750 pounds of sugar. Just kidding. 3 or 4 cups of sugar and mix it while it's still warm. Then, fill up a glass, and you got yourself some Mint Hill Lima sun tea. I do make it, but it ain't the same. There must have been something about Mima's porch. Maybe the sun was different out there. Her house sat atop this little slope, and the trees parted just right. Everything felt right as rain when you were out there. Matter of fact, the rain, if it rained a little bit on the driveway, that's it, you're stuck. It wasn't just the tea. Everything was sweet on Mint Hill.
There may be a time for laughing and another time for pain, but it's all the same for me. They say all the roads less traveled take you all the way back home, but it's all the same for me. And I find I've lost my way. It may be that the day I am not just astray is tomorrow or a day after that. It may be that it's true what they say, what they do, but it has to be better than that. There may be a time for dancing and another time to sit, but right now it's time to leave. They say girls in the South are stronger than the trees we used to climb, but it's all the same for me. Is it always gonna be? It may be that the day I am not just astray is tomorrow or a day after that. It may be that it's true what they say, what they do, but it has to be better than that. Maybe I can't go back in time. So what if every line can't rhyme? If it's all the same to you, I'll just do what I can do. May it be that the day I am not just astray is tomorrow and a day after that. be that it's true what I say, what I do, 'cause it just can't get better than that. 'Cause it just can't get better than that.
Darling, as many times as I sat down to write this letter, and either not finished or stopped and started a bunch of times and not gotten to my point, I can't even count. The point. We're moving. Probably by tomorrow. Since I won't be able to slip a note through the crack in your window past tonight, I'll have to write fast. I want you to have something to keep if you want it, once we don't have any opportunities left. I do not regret anything that's happened or anything I've said that was nice, though I do wish I hadn't said what I said last time. I know that I've discovered more truth about all of this with you than with anyone else, and I owe you big for that. Just because I'm afraid of being in this world doesn't mean that I'm not in it, or that I was lying when I said what I said and did what I did. I wish I had taken more chances when I had the chance. Maybe this would all look different now, but again, time being up, we just have to accept what has been and try not to needlessly apologize. I don't know how I'll live my life without you. Every step I've taken away from you before was agony already. And how will I get in that car and head down our road for the last time and past Duck Pond and look down that driveway and go farther away from you than I've ever been? I'll never know. Just thinking about our road makes all the memories flood back. And I wish we had discovered what we had before we did, so we had more time. I will never forget every moment we had, no matter how long or how far I've gone. The thought that there aren't any more moments left makes me feel hopeless, and I wonder how it might be different if I hadn't told Dad and he hadn't freaked out and gotten arrested. Even though I haven't seen anyone outside the house in a month, I can still hear you whisper to me across the fence, and remember reading the note you left me in the birdhouse outside. I'll come back one day when I don't have to be afraid. I lived in Willowbark long enough to know that it possibly couldn't change much while I'm gone, and you have to promise me that you won't either. I know it's not fair to put home and you in a time capsule. It's what I want. Please forgive what I said to you last time and how I made you feel. I'd rather die than have ever said those things. You've made me happier than I've ever been. You made me feel safe when there was no one and nowhere else to be. My grandmother used to say, God don't close one door without having another ready for you. But I am so tired of closed doors and locks without keys, especially this one. No matter what, never forget how much I love you. Know that the breeze over Mid Hill whispers my name to you anytime you feel it. Forgive all of my stupid shit and many pains I've caused you. If ever possible to meet in dreams, I hope you come to me. I'll always be just a sleep away. Don't even consider me gone, but wait for me. Out of time now. Know that I've stopped a second to watch you sleep as I slipped this through your window. Goodbye.
We had a moment in the clearing. All the world was disappearing. sand in the humid breeze, and we found our way to disappear. We wound harp strings from the poles, and we sang a secret song. We had a moment in the clearing. All the world was disappearing, and your eyes, they sang a song with a melody so long it never ends. With a melody so long it never ends. In the morning, round about 7 a.m., I am up and at 'em. On the road by about 7:30. It's a pretty nice drive. Unaware of getting older by the minute, no one's gonna take away the blue of the day. In the afternoon, when we get out of work, I'm right back behind the wheel. No one seems to get that the scenic route gives me time to heal. I am taking my time, making my way wherever home is by the blue of the day. My mama taught me that everyone finds their way. She said, if you ever get lost, talk to Jesus and pray. Well, I can't say I've ever heard God in a prayer, but I see him every day in the blue of the day. I may get real lonely making my way, but at least I'm alive.
feels awfully weird sitting here when you know for a fact. Not that you know you're gonna die or something, but like, when exactly it's gonna be all over, right? Like, we're always sure that we've got time to go to the places that we want to go and the shit that we go do the shit that we want to do. Like, there's this part of us that always knows it's not true, but somehow we're just programmed to ignore that and sit on our asses and not do all the things we said we would. Weird, right? Like now, I'm just looking around here and noticing things that I never noticed before. Like the rails under the deck, for instance. Right over by the corner. Dad must have had to cut 10 of those things before he found one that would fit right. But I bet you he wouldn't stop till he had one that fit just perfectly. Or, how about the way the corner slopes when you look at it from over by the table? Seems like something Mom and Dad would have noticed. Or for instance, porch light. When have you ever changed that bulb? I don't remember that thing ever being off during any night since we moved here. I don't remember it ever going out. Hard to believe it'd be the same one that was in there like, what, 10 years ago when we moved here? But honestly, it's definitely one of those old type bulbs. Anyways, as I was saying, you just have to accept that you're not going to get to do everything you wanted, and accept that it's okay because, well, you don't have a choice, right? Like, there's nothing stopping this, and no amount of crying or kicking and screaming is going to get us another day to, God, all the things. You know, plant that garden, or climb that big-ass tree we found over there that one time, or any of that. Just glad Dad isn't here to see this. Glad Mom doesn't comprehend what's going on. I'm glad she lived this long, but Jesus, man. Who knows what caring for a lady like her really is, or what it even takes. Listen, I know plenty of people who take care of their parents, but I don't see any of them bent to all kinds of hell trying to do it. They wake up, they go to work, go to church, get all the things they need to do, and wake up looking like sunshine and daisies the next morning. I guess you and me just ain't cut out for this. I mean, yeah. Just because it's the best thing don't make it no easier. But it's happening. So we just gotta take a breath and make peace with it. You know how we drive by the old place sometimes just to see what's different? Depending on who we get to buy this place, things might change a lot. Especially if they have some cash on them. Jesus, God in heaven, a little spare cash would have gone a long way out of here. Listen, things are gonna change. I guarantee you one thing, that porch light ain't going anywhere. Wouldn't that be depressing? Just as we're about to leave here, no time to do anything about it, light goes out. Huh. Maybe that'd be perfect. Now the next people ought to bring their own goddamn light for their damn selves. Hey, do you turn the light off, or do you let someone fumble around in the dark trying to figure it out for their own selves? Mom always left it on for us. Alright. Who knows what's right? Who knows what is the best thing to do? Honestly, I'm tired of twiddling my damn thumbs trying to sort it out. We're gonna do what seems right, and God will sort it out. I feel like I've been doing all the talking. Alright, so we sell the house, take the money, put it in the bank, and frankly, whatever happens with the money after that is not what I'm thinking about right now. Wish we didn't have to sell the place though. Anyway, she took care of us, now we take care of her. That's respectable. God, we can do it this way. You know, I'm just tired of having to breathe in consciously, day in, day out, in, out, out, and in and out, and every bit of me feeling like I'm doing something terrible. I mean, today is Monday, and I'm on the road Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we move her out and everything. And in the morning we're out of here. It's like, this is the last time that I'm ever going to sit on this porch. Well, this is the last time we're ever going to talk on this porch trying to sort every problem in the world. Until this moment, I didn't even realize it. You just don't know. You just never know. You just can't possibly know. By God, it's coming for you, and you just don't. Just never. Just can't possibly know. Fuck, dude.
Sitting on the porch, me and my dad. He played guitar to escape the day's demands. A missing string, a broken heart, boy, they could sing. And all it took was years and some calloused hands. Sitting in the car one afternoon, strumming that guitar like I didn't have a care. I called him up to ask him how to write a tune. He said all it takes is years and some silver hair. Sitting on the porch, just me one night, playing for the trees, wishing they could understand. I wrote it down and sang to sleep the dying light. And all it took was years and some calloused hands.
So from the very beginning, the whole world is created with God hovering over the waters, right? So, water is the symbol of new life and new beginning. When you're baptized, it's the same thing happening in that you're buried in death and resurrected out of the water into new life. So, you pass through the water into a new life. Interesting, no? After Moses takes the Jews out of Egypt, they pass through the Jordan River. So they pass through the water into a new life again. So like thousands of years before Mary and Joseph in Bethlehem, this dude builds the ark, and him and his family and all the animals, they pass through the water into a new life again. This is why these big ass cathedrals, and churches in general, I guess, well, old ones more so than the new mega ones, or the warehouse looking ones, look like ships. We are souls on a ship sent forth to reach the shores of heaven. You ever hear that before? Mind-blowing, dude. So anyway, you go by one of these old churches and look at the wood in the outside. These country-ass dudes who probably never saw the ocean in their life built these things like ships. Wow, right? They call it clapboard. Shipwrights call it shiplap. I call it wood because I don't know shit about ships. But seriously, it all looks the same to me. Oh man. Anyway, everybody's just looking for safe harbor, right? Any port in a storm? These are the things you're supposed to work through, sitting in a deer stand at 4:30 a.m., right? No? Oh man. Didn't even see the bastard right in front of me, too. For a hot second. No, don't worry, I got it. I can't see all that well, but I usually don't miss.
Sometimes things just don't make sense. Hard to know how things should go. Ooh, but I make it all cry. Ha! Sometimes horses jump the fence. Hard to know how far they'll run. Ooh, but I make it all cry. Mama made a man do a handstand, flipped him with a pen, and he ran 'cause the man put his hands on. Ah. People say the world's all changed. Gonna need to follow along. Ooh, but I make it all cry. Mama said the end is near. Bible said to have no fear. Ooh, but I make it all cry. You can plow through no shoes, just you and a few clues. That's a preacher drew for your ass in the pew. Maybe, just maybe, if you pray every day for you lay in the hay, a heavenly ray will keep all that mess away. Maybe, maybe not. Go slow, slow, and you'll know, though. Never, oh no, nothing, keep a frying pan close, 'cause you might need something for an oak son fella, and you better know how to make some damn good okra. Mama always said, make your bed, keep your man fed, needle and a thread, and some lead in the shed. If he's always on the bottle, don't you dawdle, don't you throttle, just aim for the back of his goddamn head. Ooh, but I make it all cry.
Alright. But seriously, you can't tell anyone, because not only is this some freaky shit, but I'm pretty sure if my mom found out, she'd kill me. Okay? So, like I said, we took an old cigar box back behind my house down into the woods, way down just before you get to the creek. We found this spot in this big tree, though. The one that's rotten, you know, the one right by the creek. And over the next few weeks, each of us would smuggle things down there. Matches, bits of paper, little glass bottles, anything we thought we might need to do it. A candle, a knife, that kind of stuff. And well, we didn't have the page from the book in the bookstore, but we had a glance at it real quick one time, so we kind of had an idea. And then once we thought we had everything we might need to do it, we waited until one of us ended up back at the bookstore to get the page. I made it back first. While we were there, I had to sneak by it a few times before I could get at it without people seeing. I knew the book was green, and I knew the title. Kinda, but I didn't know just where it was at, so it was kind of a bitch to get at. Then I had to get it over to the magazines, find the page, and tear it out. Oh my god. It was scary, but I got it. Then I had to get it back home. So I went to the bathroom, literally folded it up, and hid it in my shoe. Then I called and told them to meet me at the box that night. Now, here's the scary part, right? Getting down there in the dark without people knowing. So, I waited until they went to sleep and went out the front door. Because it's unlocked all the time anyway, and it's quiet. I was honestly so scared, dude, because it was dark and it rained, so it was wet, and there was something weird about the air. Like, it was humid because summer, but there was this breeze that came by that felt like fall. And well, he was sitting in the dark by the tree, and I didn't see him when I came up, so when he talked to me, I about pissed myself. We lit a candle for some light, got him out on the ground, got it all set up like the page said, and then we did it. Honestly, it felt pretty stupid. The words felt all strange the first time, and after we said them, it just sounded dumb. And after all that, we decided that was bullshit and that was it. So we put out the candles, shoved everything back into the hole in the tree, and all I could think about at that point was getting caught. Now here's when it happened. We were walking away from the creek, and we didn't get 10 steps before it all got weird. I could see the back porch lights on the back of the house, but it was like the stars had gone off. It was so damn dark. Then we both thought we heard someone right behind us because we both said shit at the same time and started running. I swear to God, I could hear 3 people running. And when he fell, I could still hear someone right behind me. So I got out of the woods around the front and back into the house, and I don't know how they didn't hear me when I came in. But I got to my room, I turned on every light I could. Then I was afraid he was going to try and call the house, so I wanted to get the phone out of the living room, but I just couldn't. I was 100% freaked out. I thought I was going to die. Jesus, dude. Whatever that was. I don't want that ever again. I haven't been back down there, and honestly, he and I haven't talked about it since either. Just went to school on Monday and was like, good weekend. Yeah, man. Sweet. Honestly, something told me not to go, and I shouldn't have gone. I felt weird after we had those leftovers for dinner and those random brownies anyway. Listen to your gut. Otherwise, you might have a real bad time. Moral of the story? Don't try out magic spells from weird books from bookstores in the middle of the night. They did find mud, and Mom wasn't happy, but Dad seemed way more upset about not getting any brownies than the mud, so it was fine. Scary stuff, man. Scary.
Good evening, everyone. I think I've gotten around to everyone here, but just in case, my name is Mary Grace, and I am so happy and so honored to be the maid of honor for my very best friend, the bride, Mrs. Albritton. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Dubas, for the wonderful and beautiful gift of a wedding. And thank you to Aunt B's Southern Kitchen for this gorgeous luncheon. The food was amazing, am I right? If you would have told me that 8 years ago, the two girls who argued over who had the blondest hair would be sitting in this very barn right now celebrating new life and new marriage? There ain't no way I believe you. But I am so blessed and so honored to know Mrs. Albritton and to be able to call her my best friend. And God, girl, you might as well be my sister. I know we had our ups and downs, but I consider that to be the hallmark of true friendship, that we can be honest and open about everything. I will never forget all those experimental cake recipes with us in the kitchen and your mama just standing there when someone decided to drop the flour, or all those nights in the Walmart parking lot in our parking space, or all those Taco Bell runs. I don't know what I'd do without you, doll. And I'm so happy to be here with you now. And oh my gosh, if you would have told me years ago that this handsome man was going to be your husband, well, I just would have laughed and laughed. Did you know that she actually tried to set the two of us up for a date? We actually did go out and talked about her the entire night. I told her, Bethany, this man was to date you, not me. And the rest was history. So after being there for the first date, the first kiss, the first I love you, and the first few years of will they, won't they? I am so happy and so honored to be here on the first day of your marriage. And I know that I speak for everyone here when I wish you the most happy and beautiful life together. Here's to Beth and Graham, Mr. and Mrs. Albritton.
I was talking to Wilson last week and we finally decided it was time for me to get out of here. I mean, it's been time for me to get out of here. I've lived alone for, how long has it been? 2 years now? 2 years. It was one thing when there were other people living here, you know, like Mama and them. But I mean, I live here alone now. After all, I am head over heels in love with the man. And people live together before they get married these days. No, I've spent enough time trying to convince myself it's okay. Doesn't make any sense making a sweet man drive 20 miles out here with nothing to do other than watch TV and sit on the porch. I read a bit of trash the other day. One of those 10 ways to excite your man or something. Oh, I should write an article called 10 Ways to Feel More Excited About Slow-Cooked Pot Roast. We never go out. We always end up at his place with his stuff and that same old pot roast he loved to make. Honestly, it is one of the main reasons we always end up there because, seriously, this is some of the best pot roast I've ever had every time, no doubt. Oh, I'd eat it every day for the rest of my life. What's that feeling when you've been looking forward to leaving, and then as soon as you're good and ready to go, you just want to stay home? I love being home. I guess my worry is that this place feels less and less like home because it's just me here. I feel like I'm gonna forget, you know, them and us. You know, when there were people here loving each other all the time. A family. Look, and I know I carry all that with me, and I know they're not like looking down on me or something, but still, you want to keep loving the place because it is as close as you're gonna get to getting to love them now. So yes, Wilson and I are moving in together. But honestly, I wouldn't bat a single eyelash if he got down on one knee and decided to propose to me the second I got there, because honestly, this would be the perfect time. Perfect. Like right now. Look out there. Everything's golden. Truly.
Yesterday I asked a kid in my second grade class what she wanted to be. She said, I don't know, maybe a tree. I ask all the time in the hopes that one day one might give me a hint or a clue. She said, Miss Taylor, what about you? I may have a degree, but between you and me, I'm not sure I'm cut out for this stuff. I went off to college in search of some knowledge, but now it just isn't enough. But I love it here, it's home after all. From the roads to the trees to the trolley, it's where I belong. Mama was born here, my father was born here, and Mima and Papa were too. There's been family here since 1772. My great-great-great-granddad in an old covered wagon, for reasons completely unknown, with his wife, traveled all the way here. I don't have to conquer the road down from Concord to take in this beautiful view. How could I take for granted these fields that they planted and leave all the family they grew? Oh, I love it here, it's more than just home. Oh, the pecans and peaches and sweet corn, it's where I belong. If I have to teach second grade or sell lemonade, I'll never forget the choices they made. And even if I end up elsewhere, it's where I belong. Willowbark's not on the map, but it's here, and I don't care if you think I'm wrong. This place that most people just pass through, it's where I
They say that Helena Troy was so beautiful that her face launched 1,000 ships. She was the daughter of Zeus himself, after all. She had a temple at Rhodes, where she was worshipped as Detritus. She is a golden thread in a grand story, written and sung for over 2,000 years. They say that Queen Elizabeth I was also extraordinarily beautiful. Hundreds of songs, poems, and plays were written in honor of Her Majesty. Many of these songs, poems, and plays are still heard now. Though not here. Not Willowbark. There is no theater here. There is no library here. There are songs sung here. Many songs. But they aren't written down. And they aren't sung for a great lady. Though these willows stand tall in the sunshine and drape the banks with elegance beyond any human design. The wind sings through our arms and hair, a tune we hear with our ears and in our eyes. You can't hear it anywhere else. In fact, if you don't hush up once in a while, you won't hear it at all. So, Greece had Helen. England had Elizabeth. We here, we have these willows. They are the tall, marvelous seers of Willowbark Woods. And they will be here whether or not they're worshipped and adored. Whether or not people even still live here, or if people just pass through. And they will sing. They just repeat the words God created them with, right back to Him, whether we're there to listen or not. But if you happen to be coming through a place like this, and you feel a little tug somewhere deep inside of you, and you roll down the windows, and the air fills you up with light, there just may be a good reason to stop. These days, don't much feel like there's hardly any good left in this world. But every so often, and for me, right here in Willowbark Woods, you can catch a whisper of the breath of heaven. Breathe deep while you can.